Hey, good morning, everybody. Bright and early Tuesday, June 18th. It's 9:38 a.m. We couldn't quite hit the 9:30 start time, but hey, we're still an hour and a half almost earlier than we usually are. After a busy weekend, we'll get into it. We got some interesting stuff, and then we got a kind of a protesting focus today. One different protest. I got another protest to mention, and then the plant-based restaurant news. We got some vegan restaurants in the news for not so great things. So we'll get into that. Doug, how are things going with you today?
Oh, Matt, fantastic. Absolutely. Dream come true. Yeah.
Okay. But that sounds good. I'm going to ask you about your weekend in just a minute. We'll see. First, I was wondering if anybody would be here, and I see that already Britters and Leslie Knight have said hello. So that's good. I thought Britters was out. I thought she said she wasn't coming.
She's gone.
Bianca can, though. That's exciting.
Wow.
Makes me want to always do it early. If we could get Bianca in here. Anyway, Doug, it was Father's Day. I think, well, before we get to Father's Day, Eliza had her swim meet on...
She did.
Was it Thursday night?
Thursday night, that's right.
Yeah, so I need to know two things about that. First, I need to know how it went. How did she do? Did she make it across the pool? Was the whole crowd cheering for her to get across because she was struggling to get across at all? Because that happens sometimes.
No, she did fantastic. She's still like, a 6-year-old trying to swim across the pool and doing her strokes, Yeah. But she was not the worst out there. That is for sure.
That's good.
I was incredibly proud of her. She wasn't the best out there, but you got to start somewhere. And
yeah,
and it was actually really cool. She swam in 4 events and 2 relays and 2 single solo events. And I was really quite proud of her. It was good.
Wow, good for you. Were people like, were there murmurs in the crowd like that's the Black Mountain Monster champion's daughter? Like she's gonna be really good, or anything like that?
I don't think so. But but there was we had a bunch of that morning a couple hours before the meet. I sent a text message out to like all the cousins that are local cousins and some friends and stuff like that, and said, "Hey, Eliza's having a swim meet," and most people had like their parents out there cheering, and you could go. When your kid was swimming, you could kind of get right behind the lane and cheer them on. And most people had like 1 or 2 people. We had like 15 people, like all these kids, everybody was like screaming for and stuff. So we definitely made a statement.
You're right. It's good atmosphere.
Which was awesome.
Did you bring some form of alcoholic beverage in a disguised can?
I would never do that, man. I would never do such a thing.
Not as a town councilman representative.
No, absolutely not. Unacceptable. Good. Never do anything like that.
All right, and then most importantly, did Councilman Hay stay the whole time for the entire meet to support the local town team, or did he duck out as soon as his daughter's races?
He stayed the entire time.
Oh, good.
He did. He tried to duck out, and his daughter wouldn't let him.
That's good.
So he stayed the whole time. He cheered for everyone. It was 4 hours of swimming.
Yeah.
And he stayed the whole time. Yeah. Yeah. And he's going to volunteer soon in the next one. So that's
wow. My wife volunteered.
And get this. So the concessions, they had concessions. They had, they had a grill going with hot dogs and hamburgers and then a bunch of like candy and chips and stuff like that. And I didn't realize this because Katie handles most of the communications with the team, but parents donate all the food. And then it's like a fundraiser. The concession stand is a fundraiser for the team.
Yep.
And, of course, there was very little in the vegetarian, vegan side of things. So we spoke to the coach yesterday, and she was like, "Oh yeah, please donate some vegan stuff and we'll get that on the menu." So this week we're going to bring a bunch of vegan dogs.
Oh, nice.
And we'll see how it turns out. See if anybody buys them other than us.
Oscar Mayer brand?
I wish. No Oscar Mayer, no Impossible.
No.
I think we'll just be the Smart Dog or whatever it's called.
Oh well.
But but she did good. Yeah, it was actually really fun. Like you said, it was a good social event.
Yeah, they're always fun. I actually went to swim meet on Saturday morning, and then left town. I was not planning to do anything this weekend. I think I had said that I was really looking forward to a slow down weekend. But then my daughter goes every year to Edisto Island with my dad and his wife in their little RV camper thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of forgot that I was going to go in and pop in on that trip for like a day or two. So I actually did end up going there right after the swim meet on Saturday and was there until yesterday morning. So I had a nice little time, and I ate those Gardein bowls, which I never buy, like the frozen bowls. I'm not that huge of a Gardein fan. I've never really liked their products that much. But Edisto like is a very tiny little place, and for being a beach town where it's nice weather and stuff, there's like very few restaurants that are open, and certainly not vegan. Like it's just if there is anything, it's going to be seafood. So we ended up going to the food line, grabbing food just to microwave in the RV, and I got two Gardein bowls of the pasta with meatballs, and they were actually really good. I killed two of them. I was quite surprised, and the $3.99, pretty tasty. So I was happy with that purchase.
Very nice. You know what I did? What I cooked on Father's Day. So the girls went to see Frozen, like I had mentioned.
Yep.
And so I went to the gym, went for a little run after that, and then took a creek dip and came home and had all this time. I was like, you know what? I feel like cooking something I wouldn't normally do. So I cooked up, or didn't cook, made like fresh spring rolls, like rice paper wrap stuff.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of vegetables and greens.
Wow. Made them yourself? All by yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
I air fried the tofu, so it was a little bit cooked instead of like raw tofu in there. That was good. But then, so I made a bunch of them. I made like 10 of them that were fresh. And I was like, I wonder what would happen if I made some ramen noodles and added those in there and then put them in the air fryer. And the first one didn't turn out great, but once I like coated it in some oil and then put it in there, it like turned out really good. It was crispy.
And what do you do with those fried noodles then?
Oh, no. I put I cooked the noodles, put them in with tofu and some kale and some basil inside the wrap, inside the rice wrapping thing.
Okay.
And then put that inside the inside the air fryer. So it made a crispy spring roll instead of just a fresh one.
Yeah. It's a pretty high effort individual meal. I mean, even without the fried noodles to do.
Well, I mean, I made a bunch of them, so we had it for dinner, when everybody got home. But
Gotcha.
And some homemade peanut sauce, Thai peanut sauce. It was very good.
Very high effort. Good. Yeah, I've never made that at home. I don't think spring rolls or fresh rolls or whatever they're called, but they are good. I do love those things.
Yeah.
Good.
How about you, Matt? Good day. Good
what?
Father's Day?
Yeah, I mean, I was at the beach on Father's Day, so I was with my daughter and I was with my dad. That was cool.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, probably most time I spent with him on Father's Day for a while, so that was nice. I don't know. Drank a couple beers, drank a little bit of wine. Not much. Sat at the beach, went in the water, warm water. It was good, just relaxing, kind of quiet weekend. But anyway, that's all. I mean, that's all. I'll have more to tell you about later with some of the stuff Aaron gave me for Father's Day as time permits, because it's just health related. But I don't want to get into it all right now. Just so we can get to the show, because we're doing this early. I got to be done around 10:15 today. What are you pointing at? Oh, the new background. Did we not mention that yet? I meant to mention that.
No, my new plant is what I'm pointing at. And that was my Father's Day gift.
Your new plant. That's really what you're pointing at?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you're pointing to the new header background, which no one has yet mentioned.
I know. I can't believe it.
We'll get to that in a second. Nice new plant. Very nice. Matches mine. Makes us have a mirror image symmetric appearance, except mine is fake, which many people probably know. But you got a nice new plant, huh? I like that.
Yeah.
Plants are good. Eat the CO2 up, right? Produce oxygen.
I can breathe fresher already. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Can't live without plants. All right. Quickly here, just a few people. I mean, not a whole lot of chatter today because it's early and it's a different crowd, and people said they would not be able to get here that early. Bianca says we've abandoned her on Fridays again. It's kind of true. We have for the summer taken off on the Friday show. So yes, Bianca, that is a bummer. I do miss Bianca as one of the main characters of this show. But anyway, to Borland's here. Bianca, Britters, to Borland. That's it. And Leslie Knight are the only 4 people who have said anything yet. So anyway, good to see you all. Thanks for coming. Anyway, yes. So that explains, since there's only 4 people who are commenting, why no one yet has mentioned the new underlay thing on the show. But I think it's great. To Borland says the header is like the notch at the top of the iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
What is that? What's the notch?
There's like Well, now new phones don't have it, but there was like a little notch where the speaker was, and it kind of cut into the screen, so you couldn't see the whole screen.
Oh, okay. That's funny. But they do like it, and Britters likes the color border too. Yeah, I think good work there, Doug. I think that's a nice added touch. Adds a nice level of professionalism to the show. I mean, just gonna keep
Leveling up
getting-
over here at the Plant Based Morning Show. 2
Yeah.
years in, getting
Yep.
fancy.
Soon, coffee mugs gonna go to a whole nother level. Wait till those things come out. All right. Well, let's get to the show. I got to get to something. Aaron went home went up north for the day. So that's why I got a different schedule. I got to get hold into something. So anyway, here we go. All right. News of the day. Some interesting stuff before we get to this vegan restaurant stuff that I'm not a huge fan of all of it. But here we go. Bunch of plant-based news today, but several different articles that I've lifted from their content. But let's give them credit where credit is due. They did a survey, a social media poll. So already, there's going to be some inherent bias in the results of said poll because it's their audience. So you're talking to vegans and a certain type of vegan. They asked their followers if they preferred vegan foods at the supermarket to have a dedicated aisle or to be stocked right alongside the meat and the other animal products. That's something that we have discussed on the show. I think we decided that it was good for spreading the message to have it alongside the meat. Helps other people maybe want to try it. But as far as convenience for vegans, if it's all in its own place, it's really a lot less confusing and just easy to find what you want. Anyway, they said that on their between two followers on Threads, 72% of the voters preferred a separate plant-based section. On X, 84.5% said the same thing. And on Instagram, 76% said they prefer dedicated aisle. So consensus there, all the different platforms of plant-based news' audience wants their stuff in one isolated place. I don't know if I'm surprised by that at all, or not. At first, I thought they have passionate vegans who are, I think, very animal rights motivated. Is that accurate?
I would think so. Yep.
And so I thought some of those people are the type of vegans who say, I want the whole world to revolve around veganism. So I want everything to be in its own place. I want it to be simple, easy for vegans. It to be a vegan world. Let's give the vegans their own place, even their own store. That's just all vegan stuff. On the other hand, they want to spread the message. So I couldn't decide what I would have expected from this poll. But what do you think, Doug? Is that expected outcome?
I mean, I think if you ask vegans where they want the food, they're going to say in a vegan section, right?
No contamination, even to see the meats and things.
Yeah. I mean, and I would if someone said, hey, would you prefer all the stuff in, like, for me, selfishly, would you prefer all the stuff in one section or throughout the store? I would absolutely prefer it in one section.
Definitely.
Right?
Me too.
Makes it way easier. But, for flexitarians or for, I mean, if I'm thinking about like general growth of the movement, I do think that separating it is better.
Right.
Although, so yesterday I got a phone call from a friend who was like, hey, where do I buy tofu? And it just made me laugh that, like, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who probably don't even know where to buy tofu.
Yeah, I guess not. I probably ignored it until I went vegetarian.
Right.
It would have been hard to know that it was in a regular grocery store, but it is all the time. It's always in the section with the vegan meats, actually. That's kind of strange, but that's what they do.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Over in Germany, where they're always a few steps ahead of everybody else when it comes to plant-based things, the Deutsche Gesellschaft für Ernährung, that's the German Nutrition Society. They just updated their position on plant-based diets, and they acknowledged the benefits for human health and the environment. Previously, they had said they were actually not recommended for vulnerable populations like infants, seniors, pregnant people, and so on. But now it neither recommends nor rejects the vegan diet for these demographics. So, it's kind of good. Good when the governments get on board with this kind of thing. Okay, this was kind of fun. I mean, not good news, but kind of funny. Chloe Bailey is no longer a vegan. The latest celebrity to quit the diet, which I don't think that by itself is funny. But what is kind of funny is that Chloe and her sister Hallie were the ones who one of them accidentally ate a Beyond Burger, accidentally ate a real burger, meant to order Beyond Burger at some kind of hotel they were at last year, August 2023. And she cried about it, and it was a thing, and there was a big deal that they were involved in this situation where one of them accidentally ate meat. Well, now a couple months later, she's out. Chloe Bailey's done. Even though it was so important then that meat did not enter her body. Now it's, she's eating chicken now. So anyway, she spilled the tea on her social media. She said, "I'm about to spill some tea. You want to know my confession? My confession: I've begun consuming temp chicken, and let me tell you something. After 11 years, I'm dead ass serious, not joking." Never gets to what the something is. She says, "Let me tell you something." Anyway, she said she did get one final dig in there, as they always do. There's always one final dig they take at veganism on the way out. In this case, it is that she said her body's getting a little more toned, quote, more toned, despite not working out like usual. So look at that. These quick change diets, don't have to work out as much, get toned.
So yeah, I mean, all right, it's funny for a few reasons. One, I mean, not funny, like you said. It's funny, but not funny. But we talked about her because she was so upset about eating the burger, and now
it might have been her sister. I'm not sure. And by the way, Bruder says, "Who is it?" Halle Bailey is what played Little Mermaid, played Ariel in the Little Mermaid remake.
Oh, you know,
but
what?
I think the two of them. What?
Now I think it might have been Halle Berry.
No, not Halle Berry.
Bieber. Who?
Halle Bailey.
Bailey.
And this is Chloe Bailey, her sister, who has gone non-vegan. But I'm not sure which of them. And they have like together some kind of group. I think it's called Chloe X Haley or something. I think they sing. But anyway, I'm not sure which one of them ate the burger. They were both involved in the thing, and then I don't know. So anyway, so Doug, you can continue.
Halle Bailey accidentally eats the red meat vegan or red meat burger. Okay. So that's less funny, I guess. Less ironic.
Well, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say that, like you said, she made a big deal out of it. We covered it on the show. And now she's eating chicken. But here's my question to you. When was the last time, or do you know what tea means?
Like spill the tea?
Yeah.
No, that was a British term.
No, it's like tea is gossip.
Oh, yeah, I figured that. I mean, based on the context.
No, I know, but like the kids are saying that these days.
Oh, are they? They're saying spill the tea?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Used to be spill the beans, right? Wasn't that'd be the gossip?
Oh, yeah, I guess so, yeah. Uh-huh. And when was the last time you said dead ass in real life? Do your kids say that?
Dead ass?
Yeah.
Oh, she's dead ass serious?
Yeah.
No, I don't say dead ass, but I might say that was a big ass lunch we ate.
No, dead ass means like extremely serious, like for real. It means
right, like I'm dead serious.
You don't even have to say the serious part. You can just say dead ass.
Ah, okay. I thought it was like I'm dead serious, but you just added an ass in there. I'm dead ass serious.
No.
Ah, okay. No, I don't know. I don't know dead ass. I know a lot of these terms. I don't know. These are new to me though, Doug. Your daughter say these things?
No, I'm just hip with the kids these days. Yeah?
Okay. Do you know what it means? I told you about glazing yesterday. You know what LARPing is?
LARPing?
Yeah.
I do not know what LARPing means.
It's short for live action role playing.
Oh, okay.
Like there's people who go out and do the thing, but the expression doesn't mean that. It's someone who's kind of like playing a character. They're not really being true to themselves. They're kind of pretending that they're something. They're LARPing.
Oh, so like if someone is like trying to be a skater even though they're not a skater,
I think that's LARPing. And I'm translating here from I'm not totally clear on it, but like to me that's what my understanding is that would be LARPing. We used to call that posing. You'd be a poser.
Yeah, a poser, right?
Yeah,
so I think LARPer a word?
I don't know about LARPer. I haven't heard LARPer.
A LARP?
I think just a LARP. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's they talk about goes hard or slaps and all this dumb phrases.
Slaps. I mean, that's.
But you know what? Like, have you heard the new? I think it's Drake doing the "Hey There, Delilah" version.
No.
Look that up. It's worth your time to listen to that song on YouTube. It's like this string of lyrics doesn't get to the chorus of the song ever, but it's like 5 minutes of the verse of the song. Sounds like the verse, but it's just all these lyrics, and you try to understand it. And it's another language of talk that like I'm like I can't believe that's English. But Holden, he listened to it with me. He was like, yeah, I understand pretty much all of this. And it's just I just don't. I wonder if there's been a time before when the younger generation, and I guess Drake is not that younger like our kids, but we're like, there's just such different versions of the language in different groups. I don't know. I just think it's really interesting. Like you could not understand, you could not follow what the point, what he's saying really. I mean, you hear the words, but you don't know what they mean. But Holden, he listens to it and he does. So I don't know. I think it's
How
cool.
old is Drake? Because he has speed.
I'm actually not sure. I would guess 20s, 30s, early 20s, mid 20s.
I would have thought older than that.
Yeah, because he's been around even when we were younger, right?
He's 37. Yeah, he's my age,
Wow,
a year younger than me. Yeah.
So he's in tune with that whole.
I read this thing a while ago, or maybe saw something on Instagram about it. Is it was this teacher who started making up his own like slang words that sound like what kids would say, and he would use it in class. And then because of social media, the words would travel, and so like teachers in other schools in other places would report like hearing some of the words that he had made up.
Right.
And that, like, I was actually talking about that this morning, how after my run, how like when we were growing up, you know, different regions, different schools had different styles and personalities and stuff like that. And certainly like East Coast, West Coast, or North, South. But now because of social media, everything is just so like homogenized. Is that the right word?
Yep.
And like everybody's the same. Everybody's using the same language. Everybody's dressing the same. There's just not as much regional difference.
But if you're not plugged into it, you can totally be oblivious to that language. If you're not on kids' social media or you don't have kids, you would just totally miss most of this different language. All right, the Drake song is called Wagwan Delilah. W-A-H. I'm just going to type it in here, which I don't know what that means even.
Should we listen to it?
I think we'll get some kind of violation, won't we? Won't YouTube?
Oh yeah, you're right. We can't listen.
Here, I'll just put it in. Here's the song to Google and listen to on YouTube.
Okay.
Bianca says we had lots of words in the 90s that our parents' generation didn't know. Think about Clueless. And that is true. Clueless is a great example, right? They have all these things that were hip at the time, but it's just different. I don't know why. I don't think it was entire conversations that you could not understand. Anyway, that's way off the topic here. Let's get back on track. More from plant-based news. They tell us that people in the U.S. are Googling keto, K-E-T-O, 80% less than they were in 2019, while searches for the word vegan have remained consistent with a greater overall average. This sounds like a Veg News piece, that they would anything to glorify the plant-based diet without exploring what might be the better explanation. But no, this is plant-based news. They're telling us from Google Trends, this is where they get this data. Searches for keto peaked in January 2019 before falling 80% until June 2024. Vegan has had a slight downward trajectory since around the middle of 2022, but over the past decade has mostly fluctuated. So I guess I'm saying mostly stable since then, just kind of some ups and downs, but comparatively consistent compared to falling searches for keto. And veganism overtook it in 2023 as far as search popularity. By the way, they got this from Mike the Vegan in a video, Is Veganism Dead? Which is a question we talk about a lot. It's based on the media, you would think it was. When I heard this, I think it's that, I mean, to me, keto has been replaced by carnivore, right? If you add together keto and carnivore probably had 0 searches in 2019 or almost none. I mean, people looking for carnivore diet. I mean, I don't mean the word carnivore, but I'm just guessing they took the keto people, went to that, and now they're on to the next diet, which is similar, and it's that. So I would guess if you added those things together, you'd probably see more stability, but I'm not really sure. But it is interesting, a little bit interesting to me that vegan hasn't really changed that much, because there is this perception that it is just crashing and burning right now. The word plant-based has also got to be factored in there, and that would be nice to have that information as well. What's happening with that word? But anyway, there you go, a little bit of data for you.
You know, so Atkins, right, is essentially keto diet, but came first.
Yes.
And was like something you sold, probably.
It was something what he
like
sold.
It was like a company, I think.
Right. Branded.
Like a business.
Yep.
Like I wonder if, I mean, it's kind of the same diet, right? Low carb, high meat. Yeah, I wonder if that's just like Atkins to keto to now carnivore. Like it's all just kind of like.
Oh yeah, I think so, and paleo in there too. Right? I think paleo was kind of post Atkins, and it was basically the same thing. South Beach diet also same idea. Although I think they were keto was different. Keto was a little lower protein, higher fats. But now carnivore is obviously back to the protein again. Yeah, but that is a string of diets, and I think people just move from one to the next, and they just changes a little bit, and they go on to the next one. So that's how you explain the keto fall off to me. Whereas vegan doesn't appear to have, I mean, just based on very limited data, we don't even know what happened to the term plant based during the time. It's just kind of interesting that vegan is just steady. I think it's kind of a good thing. It means at least it's not a flash in the pan.
Right.
Because when it was booming in early, I don't know, 2010 or so, not early 2010, early 2010s, there was a lot of talk about this is just a trend. And if you had said searches are going to, be flat from 2015 through 2024, I think you'd say that's kind of a good thing, right? It means it didn't just die out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, moving on. Couple Spanish news is here. 20 Spanish seafood companies, a group of them, and consumer unions have accused plant-based seafood producers of misleading consumers through their labeling. So this old story, again, dug up in a new country and in a new way. Basically, they say that the plant-based foods, and I think they're talking a lot about Heura, Heura. That seems to be the leader in Spanish fake meats. They're saying that they think they're concerned about the damage that this type of product can cause to our seafood and aquaculture products. They say it's unfair competition. And not only do they object to the use of the word fish on plant-based product packaging, they also don't like the uses of any phrases that evoke the ocean, claiming that it's confusing for consumers. And then the article from Veg Economist here points out that it's funny because some of the plant-based seafood products, they do use algae to create the seafood flavor. So like it's totally valid that they would have a picture of ocean stuff on there. But yeah, anyway, so they don't like it. No surprise there. And we'll see what happens.
I wonder if the poultry industry was ever had feuded with tuna for chicken of the sea claims.
I mean, it's very possible. I don't know.
I mean, how is that any different? Like chicken of the sea, right? The word chicken is right there on the can. And plant-based tuna, same thing. Chicken of the sea.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if
the earth.
I wouldn't be surprised if there actually was some sort of
yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
We should look that up. I mean, I hope there was, because then it would at least be consistent. They're not just targeting the plant-based thing. They're just protecting their brand. All right, and finally, the world's largest producer of Spanish omelets and string chorizo. I don't know what string chorizo is. I hope it's not like string cheese and you just get strings and leave off. But I mean, it's possible. Anyway, this is the largest. Spanish omelet is tortilla española. It's potatoes and eggs. I do a really good version. That it's not that I do it, but I have a recipe from a version that uses garbanzo flour with potatoes, and it's delicious. But this made me think I should try a just egg version and see if that's any good, because you seem to love that just egg. But anyway, in this case, the company Palacios will use the Every egg. That's all caps Every egg, which is said to be the world's first liquid egg product made using fermentation in their flagship Spanish omelets. So it's not totally clear to me if the world's largest producer of Spanish omelets is now going to make all of them vegan, or if they're going to be making new products that are plant-based or vegan, and they'll be using it in that. So it's not clear which one it is. I have to imagine it's the latter, unless this is like way cheaper or something. I just don't know why they would move to this instead of real eggs.
Right.
Anyway, so Palacio says we're genuinely amazed by the delicious taste and culinary versatility of the Every egg. And this, by the way, this same product was unveiled last December, and it was introduced at 11 Madison Park, the three Michelin star plant-based restaurant with Chef David Hum, who was on the Rich Roll podcast, by the way. He described the ingredient as all but indistinguishable from hen eggs. So the Every egg making a splash. Possible competition for your brand Just Egg.
I welcome it.
Yeah, because anyone who can keep the product in stock.
Mm-hmm. I am a no Just Egg loyalist. I love the product, but if some other brand comes along and can give me a similar product, I'm there for it.
It doesn't sound like your typical thing. You generally like to support the companies that you like and don't want to just switch because a new one comes along that's cheaper or whatever. Is that because you're upset about the out of stock? They can't.
Yeah, honestly, the company hasn't earned my loyalty.
Yeah, Compliment has run out of stock in the past. We've had some problems.
I know. It's true. I should be more forgiving. I mean, we're currently out of daily greens.
Yeah.
And creatine again. So
yeah.
But you know what? I don't know. I guess maybe I should be a little more understanding.
Well, sorry.
I mean, I did just buy 5 packs of just egg yesterday at Target because they had it, so I got 5 of them.
You're the problem. As soon as it shows up, you hoard it.
Well, I mean, that wasn't the strategy at first.
Well, Bianca says it's everywhere in Memphis again. She says, "Are you still having problems finding Just Egg?"
That's good. That's good. Yeah, Ingles is like, I mean, it's just never there anymore. You still
And
have
I told me that in Ingles, people, locals, and I've never heard this from you. I never knew it when I was there. They call the Black Mountain Ingles Blingles, the Swannanoa Ingles Swingles, and the Oteen one Otingles.
Yep.
I never knew that while I was there. I got a chuckle out of that.
You know, the Black Mountain Ingles. This was the big controversy a while back. Black Mountain Ingles is more expensive. The milk is more expensive, and eggs and everything is more expensive than Swannanoa, 5 miles down the road. Yeah.
Why? Just market,
because they can charge the prices.
Right? A little more populous crowd.
Yeah.
Spend more. All right. Britta says she loves some vegan chilaquiles and says always open to other egg options. I didn't know those had egg in them. Do they? I had those in when we were in Mexico a few times, and I think they were at vegan restaurants, so I wasn't concerned about that. But I just thought that was it's like a tortilla chip thing, right? But they're wet and they're softer and they have salsa and stuff on top, like nachos. But
yeah.
So where's the egg in that? Tell us, Britters. I want to know. Okay, there you go. There's your weather report. That's the news of the day. Two stories. They're both small, but they're both about a vegan restaurant.
Small but mighty.
What?
Small but mighty.
Small but mighty. Yeah, small but they definitely have an impact. They upset people with their actions. So here's the first one. And this actually upsets me. Protesters took over my LA restaurant in anger over vegan menu change. Owner. Owner Molly Engelhart said she was forced to close and send her staff home. So we have talked about Molly Engelhart and her restaurant, which was called Sage Plant-Based Bistro. And it became Sage Regenerative Kitchen and Brewery. So she, like every other vegan, when they stop being vegan, in this case, her restaurant stopped being vegan, they, on the way out, they throw some punches or whatever and, say something mean about vegans. So she did. She said, I used to think this was the healthiest way. Now I realize that this regenerative soil thing or whatever it is that she's into is so much better and important and holistic and all this other stuff. So she kind of did that. That upset people, but I think they mainly were just upset because a vegan restaurant had decided to start serving meat. That does upset people a lot. We have a video. There's video on the page. Do you see this? I don't know if you're familiar with how to navigate foxnews.com, but just like any other site, you would scroll down to the middle of the article.
I actually didn't click the link because I didn't want to give them any traffic. But no, I'll pull it up. Hold on.
Okay. It's not the top one of her talking. It's one down. Is the protest that happened this weekend on Father's Day, just 2 days ago. Nice day. People in there, enjoying their meal. Might have involved animals in their meal, but they were enjoying their meal. Father's Day, probably had some fathers out there. And here's what the vegans decided to do.
I'm curious. It didn't say in this article how reservations and everything has changed, has it?
No, it did not mention how that worked. But I think there was speculation, I think, with her switching the restaurant, that it wasn't just this sort of change of heart or ethical change. It was like a money issue that she realized it was a business move. You had to do it, I think, but I'm not actually positive about that.
I don't know that I can see it.
Okay. Well, can I just play it on mine? Is that what you just play it and the sound just goes in your mic? I mean, I don't know how to screen share and all that.
Yeah, there's a screen share and restream. Yeah, I'm not giving Fox News my email.
You have to put your email in?
Yeah, it's telling me the content to join for access to the content. You have to.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that right now. I'm gonna.
Well, if you got it, pull it up. Let's see it.
Screen share. I don't want to delay the show here, but
yeah, no, it's super easy.
All right, let me find the thing. What's the screen share button? Share
the controls right next to the video button and the mic button is.
Okay, I have to open system settings to go grant access.
Oh, never.
I'm not doing this. It's not worth it. I'll play the sound and you can listen to the sound. I'll tell you what it looks like. Okay, here's what it sounds like. Ad. Fox News.
Is it just like a
They're saying Chef Molly has blood on her hands.
blood on her hands? That's what they're yelling.
Chef Molly's blood. All right. Anyway, it's about 6 people making all that noise in the restaurant, walking around. They have a little megaphone, they have signs, and they're just walking around in a circle in the restaurant. It's a pathetic showing to me to see that. And then outside in chalk on the ground, they wrote Chef Molly Killer, and they put a $ inside of the O. There's also a big smattering of blood or splattering of blood or something that looks like blood outside the doorway. So anyway, they took over the restaurant. That's her words. They took over. She said, on Father's Day, I'm trying to focus on my husband and my children and giving good customer service to other families that have chosen Sage for their Father's Day experience. These people came inside of my restaurant, harassed my customers, my employees, vandalized my restaurant, and openly said they'd like to put me out of business. So she was forced to close the restaurant. And then she went to Fox News and talked about, she said she called the police. They didn't come for 3 hours, even though what was going on was illegal. And she said, there's a bunch of crime and all the stuff that has happened in this area. So she then talked more about the area and how it used to be bad and then it got nice and now it's going full circle bad again.
That's perfect. Fox News ending to the story there.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with anything except for nothing to do with anything. The story's about
I don't know if she volunteered that stuff or if they prompted her for this stuff. But anyway,
perfect. LA, Southern California bashing. Perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, this is embarrassing to me. I really I know I hate all the time I talk about this protesting stuff. I hate these protests, whether vegan or not. When people come in and disturb other stuff, I don't know. To me, this is not. You could go in any other restaurant you want and protest that people aren't vegan, and you'd be ridiculous. But because the restaurant that once was vegan now isn't, it's like somehow this woman is worse and more deserving of this stuff than everyone else. I just don't get this is the stuff. This makes me embarrassed to be vegan because if I talk to someone and tell them I'm vegan, they may not have seen this story, but there's this whole association that this is what vegans do and stand for and think is okay. And this stuff makes me not want to say that I'm vegan. I want to say a different name. I'm plant forward or I'm whatever, or I mostly eat plants. I don't know, whatever I would say to someone when I'm out meeting someone. I just hate this stuff. I don't know. Doug, I know you feel differently about the protest than I do.
Well, I mean, but not entirely. I mean, so I think the reason why they chose her and not, the butcher shop down the road is they probably feel betrayed, right? Like they may have supported her, supported the business. I mean, who knows? That's making an assumption, probably. But but you lifted up a member of your community and then they you feel betrayed by it. So I'm sure that's why it's a little bit different than any other restaurant, right? But that doesn't excuse it. I think there could have been better forms of protest than disrupting everybody's meal. I'm sure that I would have gotten up and walked out, not paid for my food probably, or I don't know, maybe figured out a way to pay for it. But, I'm not going to sit there and eat my dinner while everybody's screaming at me. Right.
Right.
So what if you just went and you just sat there, and didn't order food or something? You occupied tables or something like that. I feel like there's so many better ways to make a point and even protest without being that disruptive. And I mean, it is obviously illegal, right? That's trespassing. They can kick you out, and it's unfortunate that that the police weren't able to assist in that, I guess. But I don't know. Yeah, it's frustrating and it is embarrassing. Right? I agree with you there.
Yeah. All right. Good. I mean, there's not much more to say to it. I agree with all that, and I don't know what else to add. I do think you can avoid this stuff by not taking the jab on the way out. Not taking the jab. That sounds like a COVID vaccine thing. Taking a dig, make whatever it is at veganism on the way out. Not the best strategic way to make this transition based on her going to the media. It became a huge story right away.
Yeah.
a couple months ago. And a lot of it had to do with her comments about saying this. I used to think this was the way, and now I know better as far as health goes. I don't know. It's just not the best way to do that.
Rich roll and the roll on him and
Mhm.
oh, I forget the other guy's name.
Yeah,
Do
we
you
always
remember?
forget his name. No, I don't know.
They talked about this restaurant and kind of the trend of vegan restaurants going
Mhm.
non-vegan and regenerative farming, and they made some really good points about how like, yeah, I mean, I think that the regenerative farm, I don't know much about it. I'm kind of regurgitating what they said, so take this with a grain of salt. But
Mhm.
is really is kind of a like an excuse, or it's not nearly as good as it actually sounds, and it's not feasible
Mm.
to like produce all food under this regenerative
Mhm.
farm, um, veil of the regenerative farm. So
Hmm.
like, and then you can be successful in uh, cultivating a sustainable farm, and one that where you're cycling through soil and you're adding all the nutrients back in through different crops and all that stuff. You can do all that without the animals too, and so it's kind of an excuse that people are going by. So
Right.
like that
Right.
that might be pissing some people off too. But I will say, I mean, I'm sure that Rich was not one of the people protesting.
Yeah. It's probably a safe bet he wasn't there protesting. Um, yeah, I mean this. So the article, the clip at the top of the page, and I'm only saying this because this is her version of what you just said. She's in there, like, and I don't know when this clip is from. I don't know if this is from earlier. I think it is. Um, and this invites the kind of stuff that's happening to her. So I will say that it's partly her fault for going to the news with this stuff. She was there saying like there's different types of vegans. There's the health and environmental focus, and that's apparently one group for her. And then there's the animal rights focus. And she said there's animal rights focus. You can't reason with them if you're killing an animal for food. They say you're a murderer. And then she goes on to say, and basically, I can't bridge this gap because those people are living a lie. Like there's this food web of food chain, this thing. And she said, you can't opt out of it. Everyone who eats vegetables and crops, like those things, when they are grown, you kill animals in the making of them. And I don't know what she was referring to, if she just meant the insects or whatever, or animals whose home is displaced. But she was like, they're living a lie if they think you can be vegan and opt out of the food web. So I guess this regenerative farming and vegans are enemies. I mean, you think that's like
Right.
sort of two groups in the same corner of the world that's very different from everyone else who doesn't care about any of this stuff. But they'll find a way to fight each other. So there you go. All
There
right.
you
On to, yeah. What Doug?
go. I just said there you go. I mean, yeah.
The other one's a little bit goofier, and we'll be really quick here because just got to go. It's from cafemom.com. The article, Vegan Restaurant Bans Breastfeeding Moms and Young Kids for, quote, sanitary reasons. The restaurant here is Plantastic Indie. So it's from Indianapolis, or at least it's from Indiana. Indianapolis. A vegan couple, or a couple who opened this vegan restaurant just a few months ago. Spoiler alert, they're done now. They're not a restaurant anymore. Now they're doing a carry out only model. But I guess very soon into the life of their restaurant, they put out this social media post that let me open it up here if I can get it. It says, all right. I'm skipping the beginning. By the grace of God, we have this first and last brick and mortar at the Avenue. Super elegant, clean, and neat place to make sure everyone that decides to come feels welcome in our inviting place. But sadly, we can no longer welcome toddlers, newborns, or anyone under 5 years old. Will be allowed in order to keep up and maintain our sanitary standards. So they messed that sentence up there. I don't know where they said no breastfeeding either, but the message continued. I know many moms will get upset. Do not get upset at us. Just at the ones that have come and left dirty diapers on the table and put their breast out in public, uncover to feed the child. They didn't proofread their social media post. That's the Plantastic Indie experience we want for the rest of our customers. I mean, I don't know. This is kind of shocking to me that any restaurant would do this and think this is okay, especially a vegan one. I don't know. To me, I lived in Asheville for 10 years. And so I have this mixed up in my head, I guess. I mean, I have them intertwined in my head, like breastfeeding much more acceptable in a place like Asheville, even than in Charlotte, like as far as in public.
Mhm.
And I kind of thought that was the same ethos as the vegan thing. It was just like it's a crunchy kind of granola place. People natural, you eat vegan food, you do that. Breastfeeding in public, and I just thought it was sort of the same type of people. So I'm really strange to me that a vegan restaurant would be the one who says no, this is not allowed, and also no children under 5 because they're not clean. So I don't know. It's just very weird thing, and I think these people were wacky and probably not good business owners. Would be my guess.
Yeah, this is dumb idea to come out with this statement. I mean, here's the thing, like, I can understand having a business that you don't really want kids running around and being chaotic, right?
Sure.
There's certain bars like that, or certain breweries or whatever. I mean, there's certain restaurants that are like that. But what you do is you create an environment where parents understand that this is not a place for kids to be running around,
Right.
right? I
Right. So
mean,
the parents would kind of be embarrassed to be,
yeah,
and the other customers might even say something to them if they were violating the social norms of that
right. I mean,
bar.
and I mean, there's plenty of places that I just don't take my kids to because, it is not a very kid conducive place to be, right? And I favor the ones that do. Like, I understand that. I mean, but you can't ban kids under 5. Like, it's crazy. And and breastfeeding moms, I mean, also crazy. This is no.
I mean, I don't know, the type of people who go to a vegan restaurant in Indianapolis. I'm guessing it's not like the fine dining. Like maybe in New York you could get away with this because there's such a restaurant, demand for restaurants that there's probably all different niches of restaurant, and you can have one that is super exclusive in terms of formality and all this. But if it's a vegan restaurant, like your market's already so limited that you can't also be super high end formal or whatever. So like the people who go in vegan restaurants, I think typically are the opposite of that. Like it just attracts a different clientele than that, I think, by default.
Mhm.
So anyway, yeah, it's just like any restaurant to do this who's not a vegan restaurant, you'd say, what are they doing? Like they're going to lose a ton of their potential market
Yeah.
unless you like really stand for what's left of the market, and like that's what your business is all about to the core. But that's not what that doesn't appear that's what they were all about to the core. So I don't know. A few more quotes. They said this is not Chuck E. Cheese. This was not made for babies. That's the sad truth. So I don't know what the sad truth, but it is. And this isn't from their social media. They just told this to some news outlet. And they said neither of us have ever eaten at a restaurant where someone would openly expose a breast in public to feed. Only when in our own restaurant has this happened. One would think and expect common decency and respect for others would be the norm. And then Tiana, the woman here, says our male customers, they have not come back after they've seen that a couple of times, she claimed.
I mean, how often is this happening? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
I don't know.
you think they like if it's one person who's showing up and exposing herself or something like that to breastfeed, then like maybe if that's something that's bothering you, talk to her. I don't know.
Right. Right. Yeah. How many people could it be?
It can't be that many. And I don't know. I mean, like you said, it's hard to know. My experience with a breastfeeding wife has been in Asheville where it's just very acceptable. Like hardly
Yeah.
anybody covers up or anything like that. Um, so I don't know. I mean, it's hard to know, but if it's only happening in your restaurant, then there's probably something that's
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, you know what? I have the same thing where like I've seen this many times, including Erin. I think she always did bring a cover thing, and people do, but I saw it many times not covered. Uh, Maybe if we didn't have that experience, we would think this was,
Maybe.
very strange to do that in public, and we don't wonder why
Yeah. I
not
mean, it's
more
possible.
people don't do this. And I do wonder, like, I actually don't know. Okay, the kids thing that's a business decision, and that is totally legal. You can discriminate on the basis of age, as far as who can come in your restaurant.
You
There are,
can?
I think so. I mean, I think you can have an adults only kind of place that says we don't allow children here.
Hmm. They
Yeah,
actually have bars like 18 only or 21 plus bars.
yeah, and I don't know if a non-alcohol serving restaurant like would have that option as well under the law, but I think so. They do have a lawyer person who quotes here. Yeah. Anyway, I guess what I was thinking as I was reading this article the first time, I thought if someone really is breastfeeding, it seems like it'd be very hard to ban that if they're kind of being covered. But if they're not covering themselves, I can understand how you could say we don't allow like that form of nudity here, no matter what the purpose. It just you just have to have clothing covering your private parts. It's just a rule. But apparently, according to this lawyer, she said it isn't against the law for the Bartletts to close their business to people of a certain age, but they are towing the line by not allowing women to breastfeed, as that is a commercial ban. So I don't know what a commercial ban is. Sounds like a business banning certain clients from using their business. But according to Indiana law, a woman can breastfeed at any time and anywhere she wants. So I guess there's no stipulation that you have to cover up when you do it. So anyway, who knows? I mean, it doesn't really matter now for this purposes of this restaurant because they've since decided to be takeout only. They even received death threats after this. Apparently, people were that upset. So that's another level of crazy. People would just respond in that manner.
I mean, that's the like standard thing that everybody does these days. It's just like you get upset about something, you're like, I'm gonna hunt you down. That's crazy. I mean, it's terrible.
It is bizarre. Or is it the standard thing to say that you've received death threats when people are really just kind of expressing some sort of backlash to you? Because it's just that the couple told this outlet that they received death threats. So who really knows? But yeah, everyone needs to calm down. This is crazy. I mean, on both sides here. Let's just be normal. Okay, I've got to go. I'm at the end of my time.
Okay,
gotta get.
I'm gonna share a story, but I'll hold it for tomorrow.
Bianca says, "What male's anti-boob?" And I kind of the same thing. Like, why are the men not coming back after that?
That's funny. We didn't read too many quotes here from people, but appreciate everybody coming. Great show as always, Matt.
All four of you. We appreciate all four of you for coming and commenting during the early show.
There's like 80 people watching.
Hey, you're right. Yep. According to the wacky X counts of people who have watched. All right. Anything else, Doug?
Nope.
Oh, we're off tomorrow. We didn't say that.
Oh, yeah. Juneteenth.
Tomorrow, is it Juneteenth? Is that why we have no work?
Yes.
Okay. So we're off. Office is closed, and therefore no show. That's our policy. It's always been our policy. Well, not always. Almost always. So we will not be here tomorrow, but we'll be back Thursday. Usual time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So please join us then and enjoy your week until then.